Hi, everybody. Welcome to week 4 of utopian, dystopian, and post-apocalyptic literature. The week 3 discussions were very stimulating and fun. Thanks for all your great input. Make sure you check out my announcements every week going forward regarding the Our Utopia Story Bible, which we'll post the collected version of that all the way until we're finished. What impressive work you guys have all done so far in creating a utopia with classic conventions that still is going to have a strong story engine, and I think the network executives are liking it so far. Okay, so this week in the Our Utopia collaboration, we'll work on the social and cultural aspects of our utopia. We'll be looking at the rights that exist for different social groups within our utopia and what influences the military, religion, technology, and the arts have on our utopian society. The team number 3 for week 4 is Katie Dahl, Leslie, and Leah. Katie is the team leader. On the readings and discussion page, we'll be looking at the origins of dystopia, sandwiched between a couple of utopias. We'll read an essay by Gregory Claeys, and we'll read excerpts from Bellamy, Zebmayatin, Huxley, Orwell, as well as an excerpt from B.F. Skinner's controversial utopian novel, Walden 2. And in your journals, you'll continue to work on your own personal, your utopia, your dystopia, or your post-apocalypse. You'll be world building or unworld building or world unbuilding, and it will result in a new world, a flash piece, or a series of poems by the end of the term. This week, you will write 100 words on the rights that exist for different social groups within your new world and what influences the military, religion, technology, and the arts have on your new society, paralleling the collaborative effort that we're doing in the Our Utopia page. Just remember, even if you're doing a post-apocalyptic world, there are still economic things going on, military things going on, religious, all those things still exist, obviously in a very different format. Okay, I wanted to share a few thoughts that I gathered from the Claeys essay this week. I love his subtitle at the very beginning called Malice in Wonderland. I thought that was great. And I liked his question, when did the vision of heaven on earth become an anticipation of hell? I think that's really the question when we're considering the rise of dystopian literature. I think there's a central reason for this. Writers and thinkers began to recognize the incapacity of humanity to restrain its newly created destructive powers. So yep, science gone wild first heralds dystopia from Swift onwards. At least those are the words of Claeys. I also have a little disagreement with how utopia was implemented in a lot of pre-20th century literature, and therefore how it's become defined. As Claeys points out, utopias are accused of displaying the desire to create a much improved society in which human behavior was dramatically superior to the norm, which implies an intrinsic drift towards punitive methods of controlling behavior, which results in some form of police state. Now, I don't know if I totally agree with that. Rules and law and order efforts are not necessarily dystopian, and utopias don't necessarily cause dystopias, but we'll be having a lot more discussions on that in the coming weeks. Another interesting thing that Claeys mentioned is that many of us today live in utopias of the past. That is, in circumstances vastly better than most of our ancestors ever dreamt of. I think that's true. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you online throughout the week.